It's the real Miss Savage, and I'm back here with another vlog for you guys. Now, today we're going to be doing things a little bit different, okay? So, today we're going to be doing a story time, okay? Probably a long awaited story time for my original audience, but guess what? I am a tourist, which sometimes means I'm a tourist. I move fairly slow and I do things on my own time. So, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, however long ago it was, I wasn't ready for this story time. One, because I was on the internet fighting for my life with a whole bunch of wild banshees. So I didn't really have time to sit down and get creative and get cute and just do a story time about my fucking life. But guess what? I got time today. So, welcome back to another video. It's the Room is Savage, and I'm not here to talk to you about nothing average. And this is a story time about who the fuck did I move in with? Atlanta edition, okay? All right, so let's set the scene. Let's set the scene a little bit. So, at the time, I'm in my mid 20s, okay? Living in Atlanta, Georgia. I had just actually relocated from far Southampton, Georgia. I just came out of a really, really bad breakup of a relationship that I was in for close to 2 years, a very serious relationship, so much so that it was going to go towards marriage, okay? It abruptly ended due to my own mistakes, at my own mistakes. And to me, that just let me know that it wasn't meant to be. However, it being my own fault did not make the breakup pain any easier on myself. So I moved to Atlanta, Georgia, seeking new opportunity. And at the time, I had a car note for the first time in my life ever. All I had was my car and a job downtown Atlanta. And I just planned on making my way from there. I was going to stack up and move into a place of my own. Now, God had different plans because I started to work there. Things was going fine. Everything was good until one day I got off work, jumped in my car, drove to my friend's house in Roswell, Georgia. I was there, kidding you not, 10 minutes. I'm in the house and getting comfortable. Next thing I know, my homie goes outside to the patio and they're like, yo, your car is gone. I'm like, what do you mean my car is gone? Mind you, I did hear like some garbage truck action a few minutes before, but I ignored it, not thinking that it was the repo man coming to repossess my car. It was, though. It was. So, repo man came. Yeah, pulled up on me in the complex, gated community, pulled up. Where's our car? Snatch, snatch, swiper, no swiper. He got my ass, y'all. Got me. Now, how I was behind on my car note, and the only thing I had was a car note and a job. Listen, I was homeless, and I'm also paying for like hotels every then and again. I'm just like, a fucking car note is the last thing. $500 plus full coverage insurance was the last thing I wanted to take care of. Not realizing that the repo man don't want to hear that. They don't play. They come to repossess. That's it. Lesson learned with that. Okay, car gone. I hang out at my friend's house for like a week. Just shook it to the core because I'm like, what am I gonna do? What am I going to do? My car was the last thing I had. Everything in it. And I'm shit out of luck because all I have now is a job. So fast forward a few days, I leave my friend's house and I tend to go back to work. Just make it work, mind you. At this point, it's just me on my own. Um, but I still have a job, so I still go to work like a regular person. Like everything is normal. You could not tell that like I was stressed out because I had to go to work and I had to get that money and I had to look cute doing it. So couldn't show no stress, couldn't show no sweat, whatever. Anyways, get to work. I realized a few days in, all right, my check was a little bit short and I had to figure out how I was going to pay a bill. And I remembered there was a character that I ran into one day that I was out when I was out downtown walking around one day. I was probably like off of work. I was downtown walking around like Centennial Park area and a guy, a stranger, approached me. He's like, "Hey, do you want to do an interview? I do street interviews." And he said some other things along the lines, but I was just looking at myself and looking at him, and I was like, "No, I'm not really in the mood to do an interview. I'm not here for that." So yeah, boom, instantly, no for me. Didn't want to do it. Okay. He says, "Okay, cool." Gives me his card just in case. Change your mind. Here's my card. Take the card, never really look back at it until a few days later. A few days later. Okay. Look back at the card. I'm like, I get on YouTube, type in the name. I'm like, oh, this dude really does do interviews, but it's homeless people. And I thought to myself, I'm like, I don't know if I really want to do this. I don't know how big this guy's platform will reach. And I don't even know if, I didn't know what to really expect walking into this because I never did like an actual interview with someone. Me coming out of the model industry, I have all these things running through my mind like, what is his interview style? Like, what is he going to ask me? Didn't know what to expect. So I end up messaging the person. Yeah, I end up messaging them like, hey, okay, if you're still interested in doing an interview, my rate right now is $50 and I'll do an interview with you, but you have to pull up to my job. And he's like, well, here's the thing. I pay $10 for an interview, but if your interview is good enough, I will give you $50 and we'll see at the end. So I'm like, okay, cool, bet. That's the deal. Me thinking, okay, whatever, still opportunity, still a chance. I can get this extra few dollars that I'm looking for. So I won't have to like use my own money. All right. Interviewer guy pulls up to my job, jumps out the truck, and we bust out, we pull off to the side. No, we walk over to the side away from the restaurant and we do the interview. Quick interview, not even quick, it was like 15, 20 minutes. And we chopping it up. We do the interview. Now, I've never ever did an interview before, so except for like jobs. That's the only comparison that I have to actually doing an interview. So this was like my first time really opening up to somebody about my life, my journey, my testimony, and all this stuff, let alone a stranger. Um, so do it and ask some questions. I answer them to the best of my abilities. He asked a few questions like about if I've ever been married or if I want to get married, like what is partnership to me and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. And there was no like natural raw chemistry like right then and there. I was laughing and stuff. Good vibes. It was good vibes. I called him sir and everything. So it was like no real flirtation throughout the process of that. However, at the very end of the interview, camera cuts and I'm like, thank you, sir. And the man goes like, ooh, man. He liked the interview, obviously, paid me the $50. He's like, boy, he's like shaking his head, like saying something crazy. I don't know what he said, but he's like something about if you wasn't one of my interviews, I would bring you to my penthouse. Instantly, I'm like, oh, what does he mean by that? Like, what does he mean? Like, if I wasn't one of his interviewees or whatever, he would bring me to the penthouse. I'm like, what do you mean? I don't know, but didn't really know what to make of that. But I'm like, well, he goes his way, and I kind of inquire a little bit more, like, what do you mean? Like, if I wasn't one of your people or someone you interviewed, because I'm like, you just met me. I'm not somebody you know. We're just talking at this point. The interview is over. Me not like being hip to anything or nothing like that. I'm just talking to a random guy that just gave me an interview. I'm not thinking anything of it. All I know is he just so mentions that, and then he leaves, and I go back into work. And I think he says, "Oh, he texts me like, oh, it's a nice interview. It's a great interview." I'm like, okay, cool. What are you doing like after this? Do you want to like link up? I think I said that or something like that. I think it was me that said that, like, oh, do you want to link up and like go have a drink after this or something? When I get off work. So he's like, oh, if I have time, yeah, we can link up or whatever. If I have time at the time, I think he had a busy schedule or whatever. So I wasn't no pressure, whatever. Cool, let me know. And eventually he gets back to me. He's like, okay, I got time. I'll swing by back when you get off and I'll come pick you up. So little old me, I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Cool, awesome. And I pick out a place before I leave work, which is the High Note, a very nice rooftop bar in Midtown, Georgia. Nice atmosphere right over the city, of course, right in the loop. So very cute, very sexy, very me. I choose that place, and he comes to pick me up, and we ride off into the sunset, headed downtown. And I get in the car with him. I'm like, okay. He had a little reefer. I had a little reefer. So I'm like, oh, we're both reefer heads. So we do this. Check mark. That's cool. And we start talking a little bit. I'm like, oh, wow, he has a nice vibe. I haven't met anyone like this before out here. Um, Very welcoming personality, Caribbean chocolate black guy, well dressed, well mannered. And it was just good vibes. It was like good vibes and good chemistry, and it wasn't really anything to say no to. You know what I'm saying? Like in Atlanta, we meet up. People meet up for drinks and cocktails. It's nothing. People do that for business. People do that for anything. So I wasn't thinking too much of anything from just us meeting up and having cocktails. So boom, we make it to the High Note, the rooftop, and get our little drinks. We order little appetizers, or he ordered his. I didn't really see anything that I liked on the menu, so I didn't really order any food. But I did order like a lemon drop here. Um, and we're talking a little bit, getting to know each other. And he tells me like, start telling me like, oh, like you're really an ideal type of woman that I would typically go for. I'm like, me? What? I'm your type? Me, little old me? He's like, yeah, tall, slender, chocolate, and we kind of like flirting at that point. We got a few little drinks in us. We flirting back and forth a little bit. And at some point, we just start getting into details of what it would be like if we were ever like in a situation where we were dating. And the best way I can explain our conversation is like, that song by Tip when he's like, you can have whatever you like. You can have whatever you like. That was the conversation vibes. And me as a young 20-year-old some girl in hardship, struggling with nothing but freaking job at this point because the repo man that got me. And this man is over here in my ear talking about penthouse. I'm like, must be nice. So we hang out at the High Note for a few hours, probably until like 7 o'clock. And then I'm like, hey, can you drop me off at my homie's house? Because my friend did text me and it's like, oh, you can come over here tonight. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm gonna come over there. So I have him drop me off at like in Roswell. They have this little it's like called the tourist park or something like that. And it'd be pretty popping. However, it's super close to my friend's house at the time. So I asked him to just drop me off there because my friend wasn't home yet. He was like, hey, okay, come through. Didn't get that signal yet. So I just figured I'll just be in close range until I get that text. Never got the text, you guys. So I'm at the ballpark until freaking damn near 1 a.m. in the morning. And the interviewer guy texted me like, hey, you never let me know if you made it in or not. I'm like, no, I didn't make it in actually. I'm sitting outside. The buses aren't running. And I'm just sitting right here because they never hit me back. And I'm just praying to God they say something. Never said anything back. So we put our brains together. He was going to come get me, but I'm like, no, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't want you to have to get out of your bed and drive 35 minutes just for me. How about you just send me an Uber into your place and I'll just stay with you for the night until I have to get up and go to work in the morning.